Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is part 5 of the Swing State Analysis series. Going on a roll, I suppose. This is New Mexico. This is another twin state that received the statehood as the 47th state, alongside with Arizona being number 48. So, Clinton won the state by 8 points. Biden won it by slightly over 10. And now it appears to be that it's going to be a Biden plus 8 victory. He's still under 50 percentage, so not the outright majority. However, probably going to happen. So, how about this? So, the 2016 election saw Gary Johnson as the Libertarian nominee, and this being his home state and him being the former governor of the state of New Mexico, saw a lot of popularity for himself. Gary Johnson got almost 10% of the vote, which is why New Mexico was a little closer. Libertarians this time around nominated basically a socialist, and as a result, completely collapsed the ticket. Which means that Donald Trump got about 3.5 points extra voters, and Joe Biden saw the remaining 6 points go towards him. So, in order for New Mexico, here we go. We have New Mexico. As a third-party candidate to come on the ballot, you have until June 27th, and you need 3,561 signatures to get on the ballot, which means it's relatively easy to get there. That means this year we're going to have a Libertarian on the ballot. We're going to have a Green Party candidate on the ballot. We're going to have Robert Kennedy. I almost want to say John Kennedy, but he and his son are long gone. And you're going to have Cornel West on the ballot. Take that into account. In terms of polling, well, we don't really have anything in terms of a wider ballot, but you can assume that most of the ballot will take away votes from Joe Biden. So, here's another important fact. New Mexico saw a turnout increase of 16 percentage points in relative to 2016. So that means statewide you have a 115,000 vote margin of victory for Joe Biden. This model, however, from the election shuffler, does not take third-party votes into account. Keep that in mind. So there we go. We have very important state regions to go through. First one is the Chihuahua Desert. That is Hidalgo, Grant, Sierra, Luna, Donana, Socorro, Otero, Chavez, Eddy, Lea, Roosevelt, or DeBaca. These particular counties. Trump was 13. Now, if you were to take Lincoln and Catron into account, this is basically what Yvette Herrell's district used to look like. Trump was 15 district. They really misshaped that district right now because they basically went and made it a orb like this. No, they did this and they swung all the way up north. And then they had the first district taking this particular section, and then the third took the rest. Basically, they did what is colloquially called a dummy mander, which is to kind of seek short-term gain by districting out a Republican, but in the long term making it easier for the Republicans to win all 3 districts. Because of course they're Democrats, they don't really look at this. So, this particular region, overflow for the Republicans by about 33,000 votes. So we're not getting there in terms of margin of victory. Now we have the Colorado Plateau. This is another important region. That is Socorro, Catron, Valencia, Cibola, Bernalillo, Sandoval, McKinley, San Juan, Rio Arriba, and Los Alamos. This is a Biden plus 15 region with an overflow of 100,000 votes. And that is basically the margin of victory. So that's the region you got to do best in. We also have nothing else of importance. Well, technically speaking, you can do northern New Mexico. You can do eastern New Mexico, but in terms of regions, it doesn't really bring you anything. So, an important one as well is then, of course, central. That would be Sandoval, Bernalillo, Valencia and Socorro, basically this particular region, has 90,000 votes. So in order to get there, Santa Fe, Bernalillo, that's a 100,000 vote margin of victory. So this, you need to get it closer. So how are you going to get there? Let's take the southern part that we previously outlined. Here, so that's not Socorro. This particular section. Sorry, it is Socorro, but it's not Caterham. Exactly the other way, it's this. Right, so instead of it being Trump plus 13, let's make it a Trump plus 25. Well, just Biden still wins by about 80,000 votes. Let's say we get it's another important one. Let's do northern New Mexico. So northern New Mexico would be San Miguel, Mora, Colfax, Taos, Rio Arriba, Santa Fe, Los Alamos, San Juan, McKinley, and Cibola. This particular region. There, yeah, finally. So that's Biden plus 27 or 73,000 votes. So let's say this goes 7 points to the right. So at this point we see basically the entire state move to the right. However, you still don't get there. And the reason for that is Bernalillo. Santa Fe is definitely important. However, in terms of raw votes, Bernalillo is the most important. So let's say we get this one and we move it so that it is a Biden plus 10 region. Now you have 12,000 votes, roughly. So that's the part that is important. I will check this really quickly because you have counties. And I did this for Arizona and I did this for Clark as well. So here you go. You have 900,000 votes cast in total. Bernalillo, so that's Albuquerque, that's a third of the vote in the entire state. They have Don Ana, it's Las Cruces. Then you have Santa Fe, which of course Santa Fe is the county's largest county. Then you have Sandoval, which is Bernalillo city. San Juan, which would be Roswell, I believe. We can just check it here. San Juan, that's here. They have Chavez, the Baca, this particular region, that's Roswell, New Mexico. Basically speaking, so you have Albuquerque, you have Santa Fe, you have Bernalillo City. That's basically the Northwest. This is what the territory is, basically, in terms of population. So let's do the same thing. We increase the population by 16%. And we take Northeast New Mexico. See, that's this, the Colorado Plateau. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do Northeast. Well, basically the San Juan Basin. So that's this particular territory. Biden plus 5. Let's say we move this Trump plus 20. Let's do that for fun. Well, we still really don't get there, but we get close. And then we say, okay, how about Bernalillo? Let's make it a Trump plus 10 or a Biden plus 10. Well, you're almost there. Santa Fe, at that particular territory, you can make it a Biden plus 40. And there you go. You got a slight victory. That's entirely focused here on the left. With a 14 shift here, a 15 point shift here, and a 24 point shift over on this particular end. And the rest of the state stays the same. So that's important. So how about we do this, but we take the swing into account. So we do the same thing. Reset the state. Select everything. 16% turnout increase. However, we're just going to do nothing more than the let's do the trend lines. So all the Republican trending counties. We have Hidalgo, we have Grant, we have Luna, we have Dona Ana, we have Socorro, Cibola, McKinley, Rio Arriba, Valencia, Torrance, Guadalupe, De Baca, Chavez, Eddy, Lea, Roosevelt, Quay, Harding, San Miguel, Mora, Colfax, and Union. These are all the counties that moved to the right. So let's say every single one of these counties, we're going to move them, shall we say 10 points to the right? There you go, 10 points to the right. We still don't change much. It's just a Biden plus 7.5 victory instead. So in terms of the trends and the swings, you don't really get there. And that's the problem with New Mexico. It is essentially outside of the transfer for Republicans. There is no conceivable way for Republicans to win the state, in my opinion. I take this into account because technically speaking it's a swing state and technically it's going to be within 10 points, but no, it's not going to happen. So I think it is going to go along with the rest of the country. Instead of having a Biden plus 7 electorate, it's going to be a Trump plus 1, at least what it appears to be right now in terms of aggregate polling. So there is going to be a 5-point shift in the state. Sorry, that's 5 points in favor of the Democrats. And now I magically have a 15-point towards the right. Let's do that. 5 points increase. There you go. Fixed. So I expect it to be about Biden plus 6, maybe Biden plus 8. So about the same as 2016 was. That's where I expect New Mexico to end up. So that's 12 points. What does this mean down ballot? Well, I think that Yvette Herrell in the 3rd district, she's going to win. That is an additional Republican in the House of Representatives. Maybe the Northern District has a chance to get close, depending on where the shifts in the state are going to be. I think the shifts in the state are mostly going to be surrounding Roswell. Maybe Las Cruces has a Republican shift. Albuquerque might, but it's not going to do anything. Santa Fe, it's not going to do anything either. So this particular region is remarkably safe Democrat. And if any gerrymandering has occurred, that's of course when you split up Bernalillo County and make it 3 districts, which is what the New Mexico legislature did. That's just gerrymandering. So that is the state of New Mexico. I'm going to check which one I'm going to do next. In terms of importance, I'll just check here. So we've had Virginia, we've had Minnesota, we've had Nevada, we've had Arizona, New Mexico. I think the next easy one is going to be either Illinois or Texas. Easy as in there's not much to discuss, but in terms of counties, it's going to be quite cumbersome. So I'll take one of those two, I suppose. Thank you kindly for watching. See you next time. Cheers.